So, yes, welcome back to another episode of Political Nonsense. It's been about a month, almost exactly a month, I think, since old Joe has taken over. So far, this guy's signed 30 plus fucking executive orders, right? And you can see some on the right here, and we'll look at them closer in a second. But you have to stop and appreciate the irony. Not so long ago, Biden supporters were calling President Trump a dictator for using executive orders, you know? But of course, with old Joe, they're fine with it. And that's no surprise. They were fine with fucking Obama using them, you know? You never hear outcry for certain shit, you know, until it's the guy that you don't like doing it. So yeah, quite a few executive orders. We'll look at some. Got us back into the Paris Agreement. You know, did you know all the countries that are a part of it failed to meet their fucking goals? So it's just like, what's the point of it? Just wasting money. Like, why can't we, you know, set these goals without like, why do you gotta be over there and like, you know, you just trust these funds with the government? Like, say you got 20 million going over for that. It's probably more, but that's just a random number. You'll be lucky if 2 million gets over there, you know what I'm saying? It just seems like another hollow gesture. We'll get into the hollow gestures too later when we talk about the LGBTQT stuff. The pipeline was canceled, you know, jobs lost with the stroke of a pen. Also hollow gestures for people of color. We'll get into that with the fucking religious freedoms. We're gonna be all over the place for this episode, so try to stay with me. It's been a while since the last episode. You know, lots fucking happened. A lot of bullshit. I want to fucking start off with saying, you know, I personally noticed, I think I found out why there's still people that fall for, like, party politics, you know? They just don't go outside their echo chamber, dude. And it's like, how can you just trust one side of sources, you know, just blindly? Like, second hand, third hand, sometimes, fourth hand, through social media, through fucking memes. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? I saw an episode of Oz and they kind of broke it down. It's funny, like, he was like, the narrator's like, you know, ABC's got an expert that disagrees with NBC's expert on the matter, and fucking Fox is disagreeing with, and it's just like all this crazy shit. And it's like, that's exactly how it is. And you have to listen to them all and kind of, maybe then you'll kind of start to form a picture of the truth, you know? But even then, you're lucky too, if you are able to. You know, you can't get the full truth from one side. You literally have to listen to everything. I listen to hours of CNN, NBC, MSNBC, fucking ABC, CBS, The Young Turks, Howard Stern, Sway in the morning. They have like a political with Hughes, I forget his name. The View, dude. Oh my god, I've listened to way too much of The View that I've ever wanted to hear. Like, I don't. That's a whole different topic that we could get into. Fox, Rush, Glenn Beck, Kennedy, Tucker. My favorite, Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Crowder, Louder with Crowder. You know, a lot of just random miscellaneous people on the left, right, YouTubers, you know, reading articles, legislation, history, watching videos, reading fucking comments from the people, you know. I'm like, you gotta be plugged into like everything, you know, to have a good view on things. And you can just see so blatantly, and people that can't are obviously ignoring the hypocrisy because it's on both sides and it's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, I've noticed an alarming amount of people choosing to be ignorant. Whether it's them saying Joe Biden isn't racist because they don't even know about the video evidence, whether they claim fact checkers are correct when saying Antifa had no role in the DC riots. I'll give someone a link or a video that is direct evidence. It's not like a YouTuber talking about it. It's like just direct footage of the crime or the incident or the event or whatever it is, or Joe Biden saying something out of his mouth. It's like direct evidence to why they're wrong, and they simply go, oh, I'm not going to watch that, or they go, oh, I'm not going to read that. It's like, well, fuck, there's nothing I can do for you, dude. Ignorance is bliss. Have a good life. There's so many times I run into this. It's pretty alarming. And it's only going to get worse. We're seeing the media being weaponized even more so than already by government. They're silencing straight up conservative voices just because they're conservative, for saying the same things that people on the left have said without punishment or censorship, and they call Republican fascists. So it's fucking ironic, dude. It's hilarious that they claim Republicans are the ones that are, trying to shut other views down and all of this, and it's like, well, look at what you're fucking doing right now. They know what they're doing though, so they've been doing this for 5 years now. These are their fucking tactics. They're simple but effective. They got a tactic to shut down every opposition. Anything they can use to invalidate your argument. They call you a racist, a homophobe, a bigot, a fascist, a misogynist. If you bring up a good point that establishes patterns and exposes hypocrisy, they yell, oh, that's whataboutism. That's the new one, whataboutism. Therefore, it's invalid. They just don't want to have a conversation. They want to stop it before it begins. They know they can't debate it. That's why. It's much easier screaming he's a racist so we don't have to listen to him. Any debate these days that I have or see is one person explaining to the other why they're wrong in their assumptions and have to correct them on the things they claimed, that are just straight made up. So it's like, no, I didn't say that. And it's like, no real discussion is happening. It's like a fake discussion. It's like, oh, I heard you said this. What did you mean? And it's like, well, first of all, I never said that. And that's something that happens to Jordan Peterson a lot. And it's like, I never fucking said that. Or I didn't mean that. Is it that hard to understand what I meant? Let me explain it to you. Yeah. And look what they want to do. They're shutting everybody up. They're blaming everything, including the riots, on Trump. All the deaths. They want to blame every single death from COVID on Trump without, they don't know how government works if they want to do that. What about the governors? What about Kumio? Come on, dude. They say it's time to stop playing nice. They want DC. They want Puerto Rico to be states. They want prisoners to vote. They want to get rid of the filibuster. They want to pack the court, all in the name of just pushing through this radical agenda. And it's like, of course, imagine if Republicans would do it, if we're trying to do this, bypassing. It's like, and it's just, everyone's getting so petty. Again, I hate that I know what it sounds like, dude. It sounds like people call me a Trump apologist, and it's like, no, dude, I just wanted to get the facts straight, I'm not a super hardcore right-winger, dude. Nothing could be further from the truth. I could sit here for hours and tell you shit about Republicans that you've never even heard about. That'll make you sick and question why these players are still on the field to this day. But lately I must say the right's been more consistent in their views and beliefs. They called the DC rioters or terrorists. They called them rioters and terrorists. They called them violence. They condemned them They condemned them live real time. The same as they did with the Black Lives Matter terrorists. So, that's a stark difference, stark contrast compared to what the left did with Black Lives Matter terrorists, where They did not condemn them. They called the protests mostly peaceful while standing in front of a fucking burning city, you know? Um, so, and again, you know, the right's got plenty of coverage. The left doesn't. That's why I feel I gotta focus on them. It's like, look at what's happening. That's why I got, like, the right, like, I feel like the right is just the right, and everybody knows it, you know? But the left, like, acts like they're holier than hell, you know what I mean? Like, you know, get off your high horse, dude. Always judging people, always you know what I'm saying? Like, just mislabeling people. Um, it's crazy, dude. So it's like I wouldn't even be doing these, but it's like after they treated my boy Trump. It's like I'm gonna get petty and shit and fucking blame everything on Biden, you know? I like Trump because he was a fucking outsider, an entrepreneur, businessman, whatever you want to say. You know, now that he's gone, I'm back to hating the fucking government. Everybody, you know, they aren't working for us, any of them. They're all hypocrites. They're all fucking, you know, just bureaucratic fucking assholes, not doing shit, fucking, and they know what they're doing, you know what I mean? Have you ever watched them fucking rule and govern and write and fucking, you know, be in the chambers talking about legislation? It's like, you're just like, man, this is just weird. This is bullshit. Just how everything's going. You know, you're like, why is this shit even like this? But anyway, you know, I just think it's laughable that liberals and people on the left have been making all these memes and are saying, like, you know, they have this notion that, like, all of a sudden corruption, bigotry, just everything bad about government left with Trump. And it's like, what are you smoking? That dude was there for 4 years. These people that took back control have been here all their lives, you know what I'm saying? It's like, who's the corrupt one? I don't know. I think it's laughable. You know, might as well touch on the Texas situation, you know, since both sides are using it as a political chip for their energy policies and just to make the other side look bad. You know, it's funny to see how petty everyone is. You know, I don't blame them. Like I just said, I'm fucking petty. But at some point, someone's got to be the bigger person. You know, like who do we believe? You know, I've looked into it, and I see just so many conflicting numbers. You know, about, you know, what amount of clean energy makes up the grid and just all sorts of shit about whether it's the blames to be put on fossil fuels or clean energy. I've seen clean energy only makes up 8% of the grid. I've seen 10%. I've seen 12%. I've seen 20. I've seen 15. I've seen all over the place. So it's like, where the fuck are these numbers coming from? Like, you know, I saw some videos and some articles that really dove into it, you know, and it's kind of a lot of things that went into it. It's not sole blame on one or the other, you know, but kind of how the Texas grid is set up, how our whole energy grid is set up in the whole country that hasn't been updated. Equipment wasn't weatherized, you know, a bunch of other miscellaneous crap. But how about, you know, instead of making a disaster a political chip, you know, or, you know, turn it into an opportunity to, like, shit on someone, it's like, why don't you just figure out positive and protective ways to help and keep the negativity for a later date, you know what I mean? And don't worry about taking pictures or ridiculing pictures of someone, you know what I'm saying? It's like, who cares? It's like, don't take pictures, but if someone does, why even, like, that's another thing, you know? They're mad that Ted Cruz took his family to Cancun, but it's like, well, what, you want him down there fucking passing out water or plowing the snow, or, like, what do you want him to do? He's a fucking senator, you know? He's not the governor. So it's like, okay, well, have him pass out water, and then they take a picture of him, and then they're like, oh, damage control, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, dude, you can't be mad at him for both, You can't be mad at him when he doesn't help, and then mad at him when he does help. I think that shows their logic, right? Let's see how many people have died. 85,000 people have died since fucking Biden took over, That's not a good look, dude. Damn, that was loud. I wanted to touch on this, dude, since, Rush Limbaugh died. Rest in peace. I never really even liked Rush that much. Like, just the way he talked. He was kind of a fearmonger to me, but dude was reasonable. I listened to heard a lot, many hours of him. And, like, anytime a Republican, like, conspiracy theorist called in with, like, this wacky fucking crazy shit to say, he'd be like, whoa, what the fuck are you talking about? And he'd correct them and be like, no, that's not what the deal is. So all these people saying that he claimed that he spread shit like that and spread hate, I asked all these people that were trashing him, and I was like, have you ever even listened to him? Every answer was no. So it's like, oh, but then they hear quotes, and it's like, well, dude, quotes can get taken out of context. We've seen that with fucking Trump for sure. He had the AIDS update, but, he said that was the most regrettable thing in his life. Not excusing it or whatever, but I mean, it's like, at what point when do we forgive people, or like, do we just not forgive people? Is that just like, if you were ignorant? I don't think he had hate in his heart. I think it was probably religion, since he's religious, and just ignorance. I don't think ignorance makes you a racist or homophobe. But when the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy, and it's like, you can celebrate some certain deaths. I would say, like Hitler, any murder, rapist, like, I don't know, but like, dude, Rush Limbaugh, like, did a lot of charity, helped a lot of people, was a role model for a lot of people, inspired a lot of people. It's like, how can you say the world's going to be a better place without him just because you don't agree with him? And it's funny because the people that are saying this never even listen to him. So it's like, how can you even claim that? Like, at least listen to a few hours of him and then be like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even a few hours won't, like, what if you pick a few bad hours where he's like fucking on a rant, you know what I'm saying? Fear-mongering rant. But I'm telling you, I listen to hours and hours. It's like, it's not so black and white, you know what I'm saying? So my buddy Rye Guy here, he goes, nah, he's a piece of shit. Good riddance. It would be ironic to act sensitive towards him. Again, asked him if you ever listened to him. Nope, never listened to him, but he read quotes. Again, quotes can get taken out of context. Everyone thinks that Trump said that all fucking Mexicans are racist and rapists and shit, and it's like, he never said that. So that just shows you the power of a quote without context. My buddy Noah Morgan said this entire post gave me cancer, which was like perfect. I was like, ooh. I was like, this is perfect. I was like, I hope you die from that cancer. I'm gonna piss on your grave. And then he replied back. He was like, oh shit, that's rude and that's disrespectful. I was like, dude, I'm just joking, but I'm glad you agree with me. Like, it's absurd to be acting like this over Rush Limbaugh dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, they act like Hitler died. I was asking Rye Guy, and he supports Biden because he's less racist than Donald Trump, and it's like, I'm curious as to, what's the scale? Like, where, how do you measure that? How do you measure racism, Again, I don't think any of these people we're talking about have hate in their heart, so I don't consider them racist. But, like, if Donald Trump is racist for the things these people claim, then all these motherfuckers are racist. But honestly, I'm thinking it's, like I said, being insensitive or ignorant doesn't make you a racist or a homophobe. You know what I'm saying? Um, but, and again, oh yeah, here's what it says. Right Guy said, I do think Biden is or at least was racist. So I was like, oh, you indicated that, you think people can change. So I told him, like, Rush did say that that was the most regrettable moment in his life, and that he was ignorant on the matter. So it's like, do you forgive him or no? It's like, what? And but you forgive Joe or what? Like, Joe never even apologized for the shit he said. I don't think. Could be wrong on that, but so it's like, when do we forgive people? How do we decide that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how long you know, it's like when you cancel someone, how long is it canceled? Like, people. Something I've noticed is people boil shit down to its most basic form. They want things to be simple. They want them to be black and white, so it's, I guess, easier for them that way. I don't know. Like, calling someone racist or calling someone homophobic for religious views, or calling Crystalia a pedophile even though he stopped pursuing anyone once he found out they were underage. Still a creep, but not a pedophile. You can't call him a pedophile if, like, that never happened, or if we don't have proof. Like, what the fuck? You can't be slandering names out here. Rush is a racist homophobe, or Trump is a racist homophobe, or Republicans are Nazi terrorists, or all Trump supporters are racist, or QAnon retards, all liberals are socialists or communists, and on and on. It's like, people just be throwing shit out there. It's like, dude, everything in life is complicated. Dude, I knew a great guy, nice as can be, not racist, not homophobic, but he believed in some wild shit. He was in a cult, believed the world was 4,000 years old, that dino bones were placed by the government to, like, fool people, all sorts of this nonsense. He thought gay people were damned to hell, but I swear, one of the nicest and honest, most honorable people you can meet, and would be nice to an openly gay person, just, no prejudice, whatever. He wouldn't hunt them down, is what I'm saying, I guess. So again, shit's just not so black and white, but people want to boil it down to that so they can be outraged, I guess. I don't know. Whoops, sorry. So, yeah, and then so we got talking about Rush, and then we got, I guess, sidetracked to talking about Trump, and then gay rights and stuff. And right guy was saying that personally he likes the left or Biden because he supports the religious fair acts, or getting rid of the freedom of religious, what the fuck is it called? Let me read it right here. The fucking Freedom of Religious Restoration Act or something like that. Let me see here. Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which gives businesses the right to deny services to gay people based on their sexual orientation. So there's that, and then there's another one that's about hiring people. And it's like, that to me, again, that seems like a hollow gesture, because it's like, what does that law do? And I asked him that, and he didn't reply, and I hope he comes back and replies, because I do want to know, like, what does that law do? Like, think if I gave him an example, I was like, think if there's like a southern bike shop ran by fucking racist homophobics, and this law, they passed this law, and it's like, okay, now these people have to, or I don't know, have to or can, I don't have to hire LGBTQ people, and it's like, do they even want to work there? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would you even want to work there? To me, I was like, dude, I want these people out in the open, like, there's a funeral director that came out, and his boss fired him, and it's like, that's shitty, fuck the boss, and it sucks for the dude, but it's like, aren't you kind of glad, like, that you're not working for that dude anymore? It's like, aren't you glad that you know who doesn't support you, so you know not to support them? Chick-fil-A, the cake place. As far as the business things go, I think Republicans just are very pro business, pro entrepreneur. They want they see that they say that the way I see it is I think that a business should be able to operate how they want, other than like crazy, dumping fucking chemicals in the fucking lake or whatever, you know. But you know, basically operate how they should want. If they don't want to hire gay people, if we're gonna allow religious freedoms, we kind of have to accept it, even if we don't like it, So if they don't want to hire gay people, whatever. They don't have to hire gay people, but like, and then those people are assholes, and then we can start a fucking boycott these assholes, and then whatever. It's like what it boils down to for me is I don't think legislation will ever eliminate hate. You know what I'm saying? I think in the housing market it'll do good, but as far as like making a law that says you know um enabling all qualified Americans to serve all Americans what Americans couldn't serve. They try to say that there was a trans ban, but there wasn't. Ensuring the future is made all American by American. That was Trump that wanted that started that. Preventing and combating, even though he's taking already taking terrorists off of China, so China's happy. Preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of gender. This one. So it's like, I mean, it sounds nice and it doesn't hurt to have it here, but it's like, to me, it's just a hollow gesture. I'm like, what does that do for us? I told Riker, I'm like, dude, if someone doesn't want to hire you because you're gay, and this law comes out and it's like, oh, dang it, well, I guess you got the job. It's like, no, they're going to be like, no, we got someone else, or we'll call you back, and just never call you. Like, it'll be that easy. Like, that's probably how it happens right now anyway. The majority of people that are discriminated against probably don't even know it, or it's hard to document that, or prove it. Unless it's as blatant as, coming out and like this funeral director, I guess, and then getting fired. But again, it's like, don't you want to know that? Like, they just expose themselves. Now you can be like, fuck them. Glad I'm not supporting them. It's interesting that all of these executive orders only have around 20,000 views, though. Yeah, so there's this like whole thing where it's like, what, gay people have to be a Democrat? It's like, Trump supported the LGBTQT plus, and they're a plus now. Like, what side is hurting? Other than the left tried to paint the right as hurting the LGBT, attacking them with bans in the military and shit, and it wasn't even like that. And the fact checkers came out and it was like, oh. But Biden still tried to take fucking credit for it, and it's like, what you can't. I mean, I was gonna say you can't do that, but apparently you can. So, I don't know. I think that's what it boils down to is maybe one of the main problems is people are boiling things down to their most simplest forms. I think things are very complicated, and everything in life you have to look at from many perspectives. And come from a place of understanding. But it's hard with these fucking government fucks on both sides. That's what I'm saying, man. People think like, it's a Republican thing or something. It's like, no, dude, we like Trump because he was not part of that fucking cesspool. Now that he's gone, I'm like back to just saying fuck all this government, and like, and like I said, I just think it's laughable that it's like, oh, Trump's gone, now fucking, now we're gonna be all honest, and Wait till the fucking declassified files come out from fucking the time period after Trump. You know, just gonna be just as bad as the time was before him. So it's like these cocksuckers, dude. Straight slandered this dude's name. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how did people eat it up too? You know, he may not be the best or the number one person for the job that I would have picked either, or you know, the best well spoken or the smartest, but you know what I'm saying? Dude did a hell of a lot of good shit, and people don't even know it because the way the media portrayed him. It's like, it's fucked up, man. Media's number one problem is what it really is. They got too much power, dude. Let's go back to the old days, you know, where there was actually journalists. There's no more journalists, dude. Everyone's got a bias. Whatever. I mean, I'd like to know about how this helps really, you know. You know, I'm like, and I read through these and I'm just like, it's a whole bunch of like, other than like the fucking the Keystone pipeline and things that don't have to do with people of color, you know what I'm saying? Like things that are like these people of color and LGBT ones, they're just fluff. Nothing's going to happen because of them. It doesn't seem like. It's just like, oh, this is, you know, no discrimination. And it's like, okay, that's gonna solve it, dude. I'm telling you, legislation doesn't eliminate hate. Education does, and I think education is gonna be the only way out of that shit. I don't know, man. It's crazy. I did deep dives into some of these scientific articles, dude. Fucking, you know, and it's like, I think everything is relative, so it's hard to know. Even with all the research in the world, it's hard to know everything. Not that you'll ever. I'm saying, you know, certain aspects. Personality or personability or whatever the fucking word is, you know, like. Where are the Eagles at? How much is the government spending on climate change? We don't know, and neither do they. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, now this shit's a national emergency, you know, like, they said that the wall was a national emergency and they were building a wall, but like, now they got rid of that, and now fucking climate change is going to be a national emergency. So it's like, what are we going to do? Just build a bunch of wind farms? It's like, I want to see the funds, dude. I want to see the budget, dude. Someone needs to be fucking watching this shit closely. Kind of had this up on the left screen. I don't know if you've Jared Buddy agrees, you know. Yeah, I think we'll call it there. That's 34. That's usually, I'm trying to keep these around 30. So I've been trying to go fast, have the thoughts, and then bam, you know. No camera. Don't know if it'll stay that way. Who knows? Peace out. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. Catch you next time.